In this video, I'm going to talk about the silent killer of growth for independent RIAs, wealth managers, and financial advisors. It's a mistake that's costing you millions in lost opportunity, and unfortunately, it's one that almost every RIA makes soon after they go independent, leaving the big wirehouse. Let's start by looking back at how you got here. The initial transition phase. This is you leaving the big wirehouse when you're probably pretty nervous. It's a huge leap of faith. A lot of your clients came over with you as you started your independent firm and you were actually growing. Things were pretty good and you were pretty well off. Now, as the years went on, you found yourself in a new reality. You weren't just an advisor. You were the chief marketing officer. You were the chief executive officer. You were the chief compliance officer. You were even the IT department, amongst all the other hats that you probably had to wear and might still be wearing. Over time, you eventually hit the inevitable wall. Essentially, you started to realize that you weren't growing anymore. You were actually plateauing, and hopefully not, but in some cases, you were declining. And things just aren't going as well as they used to. Let's look deeper into what that plateau actually costs you, the true cost of plateauing as a business. We're gonna look at this from an annual level in AUM and revenue, and then extrapolate out. So let's say you were on track to grow around 10 to 25 million in AUM annually. What that translates into is $100,000 to $250,000 in revenue, assuming a 1% management fee. Now, if you extrapolate that over just 5 years, that turns into $50 to $125 million in lost opportunity in new AUM and a revenue of $500,000 to $1.25 million in lost revenue by plateauing and not growing your business. So where does that leave you? What are your options? Now, the two most common options that people think of are one, referrals, which is likely how you built your current book. And then two is recruitment, essentially growing your own business by recruiting more advisors. Let's look a little deeper into both of these options. Starting with referrals, you're probably feeling the squeeze now where your referral well is simply just drying up. You've likely been with your clients for years now, potentially even decades. The hard truth is you've likely already exhausted your current clients' referral networks. You've done this over and over again, and now you're feeling the squeeze, which leads to you just don't have any more referrals coming in. So looking at referrals, that might not be your best option right now. So moving on to recruitment, what does that look like? You already went independent, and now you're thinking, you know what? Let me build my own wirehouse and build my team. But what you're soon going to find is recruitment costs are astronomical, both in time and effort, but on top of that, also financially. A junior advisor easily could cost $100,000 to $150,000 in recruiting, and senior VP director level advisors could easily double, triple, potentially even quadruple that. On top of that, you're starting to shift your own role. Rather than doing advisory work and doing the thing that you actually enjoy doing, you're finding yourself becoming a recruiter and a manager. Lastly, as your team grows, as you recruit more advisors, your profit margin struggles and continues to shrink. So going back to your options, recruitment also doesn't seem very plausible or viable in this scenario. So this leads us to the actual $1 million mistake. What is it? The $1 million mistake that I see almost every firm make is thinking that referrals and recruitment are their only options. What if I told you there's a third option where you can systematically grow your business? And that here is the path that you didn't know existed. It's literally systematic growth. Systematic growth sounds great in theory, but what is it exactly? So I'm going to outline the 3 key elements that define these systems, which is authority building, targeted reach, and data-driven optimization. I'll go through each of these elements by talking about why it's important and also how you can start implementing these for your own business. First, we're going to look at authority building. When it comes to authority building, you want to showcase your expertise, your decades of experience, and become a thought leader in your industry in order to build trust with prospective clients. As you've probably already noticed, we're becoming more and more focused on a digital-first society. And so when new clients come, they want to learn more about you, they want to build a relationship and build trust, but it's hard to do that when you can't meet them in person. And so you need to meet them where they are at, which is on the digital landscape. So what does that look like? For one, you're probably familiar with interviews and podcasts. For example, maybe you were invited onto CNBC to talk about 401k retirements. Both of these allow you to put yourself in front of an audience that already resonates with your messaging and builds your expertise and your authority in the digital landscape. On top of that, what you can control right now is building out your video and written content. That could be in the form of blogs, articles, or self-recorded videos. Lastly, speaking engagements will always be powerful. Not only are you in person where you have the chance to meet someone face to face and build that relationship, build that trust in person, but during the speaking engagement, you can also record that and use that for content in the future. Moving on to targeted reach, this is important because it gets you in front of the exact right people. The truth about your business is no one knows who you are. Think about how many clients you might have. Maybe on the higher end, 100, maybe 200 clients, but more likely than not, less than that. There are billions of people on this planet. Most people have no idea who you are. So you need to tell them who you are and put yourself out there. What targeted reach allows you to get right in front of your ideal prospects. The ultimate goal here is to optimize your time, efforts, and resources so that you have the best chance of a higher positive ROI. How do you put this in practice? First, you might want to join affinity groups. These are groups that are already tailored towards your messaging and your value proposition, whether it be retirement or estate planning. You can join Reddit groups, subreddits, Facebook groups. These are communities that already are talking and discussing your specific value proposition, and by joining and providing value, you'll be able to connect with those individuals. Another option is direct outreach. This could look like one-on-one emails, direct messaging on LinkedIn or other social media platforms, or even physical mail. Lastly, you have the opportunity to utilize paid ads. Paid ads are really great because all of these platforms have specific filters where you can specifically identify what types of people you want your content to show up in front of. You want to talk to 55-plus-year-olds? You can do it. You want to talk to people specifically in Arizona? You can do it. You want to speak directly to university professors? You can do it. The last aspect of a powerful system is data-driven optimization. In order to grow, you need to have systematic improvement. You can't just rely on the same tools, the same strategies year after year after year. A lot of times you'll need to adapt, and the best way to adapt is using your data as your leverage. This way, you are informed, you can make better decisions and stronger decisions backed by data in order to improve your system and ultimately your growth engine. To do so, you're gonna utilize the analytics that all these different platforms provide you. They provide you in-depth analytics on your demographic, your conversion rates, your success rates, your impressions, anything you can imagine, your analytics platform probably provides it for you. On top of that, there are a bunch of third-party tools that you can utilize to improve your systems. For example, say you want to observe your traffic on your website, you can implement a third-party tool that allows for a heat map that allows you to look at where people are spending the most time on your website. The last method is the tried and true way of A/B testing. It's essentially your best tool to figure out if version A works better or version B works better. Based off of performance, you go with the one that performed better and iterate and create a new test to further optimize your system. Now I'll go through how Precision Growth Partners actually executes on this system. We utilize a two-pronged approach where we focus on organic authority as well as paid precision. Now what this means is organic is essentially what you can build and put out there and allow for the algorithm and the internet to do its work. Whereas paid precision is where you start putting money behind your content and your efforts to amplify them. We'll go through both of these prongs based off of, again, why it's important and then how exactly we implement it. Our methodology for organic authority is great because it starts to show your expertise and put you out there. On top of that, all of the content and all of the things we put out into the internet work for you 24/7. Whether it's at midnight or 5 p.m. or 7 a.m., your content is going to be working for you. As you understand, building trust in this industry is paramount. And so by putting yourself out there through valuable content or videos, you're able to start building that trust with your prospective clients. And lastly, you are going to be building your evergreen content library. Whether you work with us or not, or choose not to work with us in the future, all the content, all the efforts that we've already put in and built together, you'll be able to use forever. It's going to be there, evergreen, providing value for new people, whether it be today, tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now, even 10 years from now, someone might be able to find your video and gain value from it. In terms of how we implement it, we first focus on educational and explainer videos. Research has shown that individuals are now doing a lot more heavy lifting, wanting to get into the weeds of their finances, understand their retirement, understand their estate planning. So by you being the expert and providing valuable information and being a thought leader, you're able to bridge that gap through organic content. We also implement a compliant first content. As you know, compliance is extremely crucial here. You do not want to be on the wrong side of compliance. And so we built that into our system and we integrate directly with your compliance workflow so that you never have to worry about your content breaking compliance. The last thing we do here, which might be the most important, is establishing your niche or specialization. As we've seen with AI, generalization is how you become absolutely ignored and invisible to the market. Maybe you specialize in tech executives that are looking to exit their companies, or maybe it's women that are impacted by divorce and looking to rebuild their wealth, or maybe it's someone that's trying to navigate their pension plan. Whatever it is, make sure you know what your niche and what your specialization is, because that is how you'll be able to stick out in the crowd. Moving on to paid precision. Again, this is extremely important because you will be known by your ideal clients. Organic content takes time for the system and the engine to start running, but the advantage of using paid precision and putting money behind your content is, again, it amplifies your efforts and you're able to directly reach your clients as soon as possible. Again, this will start to optimize your time, efforts, and resources. And lastly, again, we're trying to build a system, and so this will help you establish and create a predictable pipeline. Once you start running ads and find a successful one, we can then equate, say for example, a $1,000 ad spend to 10,000 impressions, to 2,000 clicks, to 100 downloads, to 10 booked calls, to 3 closed new clients. At that point, we can correlate that $1,000 spend to X millions in new closed AUM over time. And that is going to be extremely powerful in allowing you to build a sustainable system that allows you to have a predictable pipeline to grow your business. We implement this by developing a lead magnet that provides immense value for your prospective clients. We execute on a full end-to-end funnel and nurture sequence so that you do not miss a single lead that comes through, and you can focus on closing deals and advising your clients. And lastly, we run targeted ad campaigns so that your efforts are not wasted. So what does this look like when you put it all together? Let me walk you through how we were able to build a $1.25 million AUM pipeline and new qualified leads for one of our clients in just 5 months. Before working with us, this $400 million firm had zero digital presence, and their niche was in academia, specifically targeting university, faculty, and professors. We were able to build them a pipeline of new qualified leads of $1.25 million in AUM, and we were able to do that in just 2.1 hours per month. What this means is the advisors only had to show up for 2.1 hours and work on marketing with us. We took care of everything else in order to build this pipeline. They spent a total of $21,000 on their marketing efforts, and the potential ROI is 5.3x to 13.0x based off of a 15-year lifetime value of new clients. This is only the brink of the iceberg because it's only over 5 months. When you start focusing on content creation and evergreen content, this begins to compound over time, over the years. We're really excited to see how this client continues to grow moving forward. So what does all this mean for you? All this to say that if your growth has plateaued despite your expertise, if referrals aren't generating enough new clients, if you're tired of wearing every hat in your business, and if recruiting just feels like you're recreating what you escaped, feel free to book a free strategy call with us here at Precision Growth Partners. We'll do a full breakdown of your current strategies and figure out where you have the most leverage and where we might be able to help you grow your business systematically. I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to reach out to us directly if you have any questions, leave any comments below. If this was at all helpful, it would be really great if you liked and subscribed this video. And thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and good luck growing your business.